Okay, I cannot believe where I live. I cannot believe what the cops said to me, but I cut it off as soon as they gave up what they were all about. Both of them said, verbatim, we have absolutely no hits on this house. Both of them were Latina and Latino male. You know what I mean? I'm just so fucking disturbed, dude. I literally got off the train right back into it. They were not expecting me to call no fucking 911. They sent who they did. They sent some of their worst. They gave it all up. So I'm going to report this to the boss. 2 Latin cops came, okay? It's on the docket. They can find this. Oh, yeah. The fucking CIA, yeah. They said, this is when I ended the conversation. And they gave me time to vent. I knew they were giving me the runaround. I didn't know how involved I alleged they are, these 2 that came, until they gave it up. They said no, because I turned the conversation towards the end as we were winding down this discussion. I said, so how do you tell, because, right, I'm pretty good at argument, right, because I was pre-law. So winding down, I asked them, so how do you tell when there's stash spots, drug houses? Not verbatim, but that was the question. They said 2 times straight, verbatim, there are no hits on this house. You can tell, and there's nothing here. I'm adding now. I'm paraphrasing. They both said there are no hits on this house. Then they came back to me again, recited, there are no hits on this house. There's nothing at this house. What gave it up about the woman was through her mask. She looked at me, and that nice in her eyes was gone. They don't want to kill me so much here anymore. They want me out of here, which was my guidance. I documented that. They want me the fuck out of DC. So that's why I alleged she was being nice to me. She's a fucking, whatever the word, liar. She's in the business of conning so many people who trust her. She did the same act to me. She acts really nice. She's a good lady. She's a good cop. She's on your side. No, she's protecting this house. She's in organized crime. They sent a couple of, I strongly allege this, and it gives it up. And it was the look in her eye. There's absolutely no hits on this house. Like, I never put anything online or ever sent anything to the, Now, the cops I've been hitting all over the fucking place, and they know who I am, are not going to protect what I witnessed here and smell here. And you can kind of smell it again, by the way. And the house is really hot. You smell the fruit rot. It's light, and the house is really hot. All right? I was very cordial and all these words to the male and female officer. And they were giving me such a runaround that I realized halfway into it that they were in no way going to go up there into the house where there's a presumed, right, possibly corpse in here. Because that will lead back to the dirty federal. I don't need to tell a federal prosecutor this. All right. There's a lot of motive and allegation for the guilty partied individuals involved here to just protect this house writ large until me, the witness, moves fucking out. Another thing, they were so glad to hear that I was moving out. I told them very coherently, I had just gotten out of a cab coming back from Philadelphia. I can't take the noise here. We're back to it, dude. And blah, blah, blah. Their eyes lit up. How many days left you got here? They both asked that. Too interested. Both of them were too interested. Both of them asked that, almost in chorus. All right? And then it was her. And when she said what she said to me, I said, okay, there's no hits on this house? Okay. Thank you, officers. Have a good night. I told them, please be safe. I'm very cordial back. I know they're involved in this shit. All right? So I'm right back here. I'm right back in DC. I'm right back to it. Nothing's going to change here. As soon as I got out of the the train station, I was stared down by another strange Arab man. I'm really tired of that here. I'm not a piece of dog shit, and you are a strange man to me, and you have no right to be laying your eyes on me like that, because I don't know you, for one. And who the fuck are you, and why are you fucking looking at me like that? Especially at night outside a train station. And then I come here. I tell him to pull over, the cab driver. He pulls over, he's driving, it's his own opinion to where to turn. An African-American man, the man that I took a photo of on the porch. This guy, he did not know I was in the cab. He did not know it was me. I don't think he did. No, I can't focus on this stuff right now because there's all this noise going on around me all the time here. It's horrid. I'm trying to stay focused, all right? That guy I took a photo of approached a fucking cab, walked right up. Hear this, police, real cops? I told the cops this too. I told these two phony cops all of this. They didn't care. There's no reason to go up there. There's none. You should have heard the fiasco they were giving me. We'll get to that, but it's what the cops really want to hear about is this shit, and I know that. So this African-American male that's upstairs right now in her room came to the driver's side of a cab on SM 15th, walked right up to him like I thought we were going to be jacked. I thought he was going to stick a gun in the driver's face and rob me and the driver. He had a red bandana over his face. He's in all black, hoodie up, the whole gamut. He's walking up to cars. He's telling the guy, hey, you can't park here on the corner. Now, this was drug activity. He's like a scout around the block type of guy. You know, the DEA knows this shit. And he's telling people, literally walking up to him like we're in the hood, dude, and this is $1 million properties. He's walking up to him and saying, you come, scaring the shit out of the driver. And I thought this was fucking crazy. I was like, seriously, for a second, I didn't know if we were going to be robbed. And so the driver, I was like, what is this gangster doing? What is going on? I'm in DuPont. So we pull up in front of my house. The gangster had dispersed from the car. That gangster is that gangster that you saw sitting on my porch. He literally walked to my house where I live. I couldn't believe it. I made the cab driver, who was this fucking craphead Arab fucking Al-Qaeda supporter. I don't think he's involved, but I think he supports. So he likes to harass me. You have to ask him. I asked him 3 times and I told the police all of this. Everything you're hearing now, I told these phony cops that just came to respond to my 911. I told them, I asked him, what is your name? Do you live here? Do you live here? The guy was just playing on his phone, looked up at me like he wanted to shoot me and ignored me. Like, do I have to analogize and equate to you where this is and what this is like? Do I really? Why don't you go in some of these fucking neighborhoods, Southeast or somewhere, and find out for yourself? This should not be happening here in this neighborhood, period. All right? I can't believe it's happening, but it all corroborates to everything else I've been telling people. That these cops say, there's nothing on this house. There's no hits in this house. There's nothing going on here. This house is fine. In fact, she took her hand and went like that. This house is fine. Yeah. It was pretty bad acting, man. All right. So I asked him 3 times, what is your name? Do you live here? Do you know someone who lives here? What is your name? What are you doing on the porch? I wouldn't go near him, dude. The guy scared me already in the cab. He's on my fucking porch now. And he's just sitting there. Then about 2 minutes after me asking him and him just ignoring me, like he's, Lil Wayne or something in the projects. Yeah. That fucking bitch comes and lets him in and brings him upstairs. And they're up there right now. So my guidance was call 911 right now. And I'm glad I took that guidance because the phony cops around here in this jurisdiction who protect stash houses. You should have seen their face when I said that. Stash houses. What stash house? There's no hit on the house here. There's no hits. They fucking totally gave it up. Okay, I don't need to really tell the feds this because the feds already know. All right, but there might be some people amongst their ranks in DCPD that appreciate me telling them this. So, what was my point? This is so crazy. I can't believe I just got home. I just got home. Anyways, I don't remember my point. I'm just too much in shock here. It's like literally, do I have to explain this? I just got home and this is what I come home to. That smell is light in the air right now. Yeah. I'm glad I took the guidance. That's where I left, and this is where I'll try to wrap it up. Call 911 right fucking now. They tried to discourage me while I was out there debating with them. It turned into this big college prep debate. It was a joke. They tried to discourage me from ever calling 911 again. What they told me was I had to hear screaming, or the woman had to be coming at me, or whatever. No. They tried to tell me I didn't have to and didn't need to and all this stuff. They sent some of their worst here to the house. I appreciate that. Thank you, Ra. Thank you, Ra. So now all your colleagues amongst your ranks know who you are and what you're all about and how bad of an acting job you did coming to my house trying to cover for a stash house that you are going to the federal penitentiary for after terrorizing me. Ugh. There's been a homicide here too. I heard that shit and smelled a dead body 4 days later. The 4th, I heard it. The 8th, I smell it. Yeah. No, I can call the fucking 911 here. And these two, they told me, basically this is what they told me. And this isn't synopsis. This isn't paraphrasing. They told me I had to have her coming at me. They told me all this stuff. Really didn't have any reason. Like the stuff they were telling me to call 911 for. What's the point of having 911? I mean, no, you should have heard this shit. These kind of criminal suspects love that I'm always alone because they can run the worst shit past me and no one else is there to witness it. And they really revel and prey on that. This isolation that I'm always in, they are feasting on. So I had two running the worst bullshit about calling 911 at me. No, ma'am, I'm going to call 911 and you're going to come back and tell me more bullshit if you like. You can take notes next time when I'm moving out. All right, so this is definitely what I alleged. Oh, you should have heard these fucking people talking about allegations and stuff. You should have heard these two. What I allege is this house is a stash spot. What I allege is these people got involved with whatever it's been on my account. They did something absolutely terrible to one of their own kind up there. All right? I've heard, I filmed, I've done everything with the drugs and seeing and all that. Oh, you should have heard the debate. Those two came and told me it's legal to smoke pot in your house here too. Those two came here and told, and then I said, well, what about the drug deals? And then I led them both to the, well, what about the stash house? What does it take? And that's where they stopped me and they said, there's no hits on this house. This house is fine. In fact, one of them used their hand. Really get the impression over. Look, I'm not, you talking to a witness this? I'm a witness to all this? There's nothing here, huh? Really? You gonna flap your hand in my face again? Wow. I also brought it up amongst the ranks, other DCPD that aren't corrupted. I also brought it up. What do you do when you're somewhat, I had to debate with these two criminal cops about how this guy was intimidating and most people wouldn't want him approaching a cab. I had to fucking say that shit to them. The cops. Did you hear what I just said? Because that's what I had to do. Yep. Oh, I knew there's something really, really wrong here, but I lived on Staten Island a long time. They're just like that. They're a carbon copy. They're not cops. So, all right. And I said, well, what do you do when someone's bringing someone like that into your house? He can commit any kind of crime he wants on you inside. They didn't say anything. They diverted the subject. This song and dance they gave me outside on the public property was such a shit show. I actually thank them for coming. I want them to know I'm going to call the cops right back here anytime I like. All right, I'm going to end it. This shit was preposterous. What just happened with the DCPD, it doesn't surprise me. They were not expecting me to call. And I know, I can guarantee you this, they're really pissed that bitch had that guy sitting on the porch and that I took a fucking picture of him, because this goes all over the world. And it goes right to the CIA and right to the alphabets. So, right? And I protected myself because no, these people are going to be aware that I am not taking this shit. All right? While I was out there was so much fucking noise, it was really hard to have a conversation with two boneheads like that. I mean, I didn't want to plug my ears and stuff in front of two, like, officials, even if they're corrupted and they're on the way to federal prison. But it's so hard to have any sort of long conversation with people in this area because of sirens and noises, and it's an absolutely horrible place. So I came back from the train and was all that stuff with that Arab guy who the gang member scared when he pulled over on S and 15th. And then I had this man, the driver. I think the general is Syrian, by the way, the SSR. I think he's Arab. So don't trip when I say Arab. All right? Please just let me speak. Then we pull over in front of the house, and that guy who scared the Arab driver was in my porch. He was sitting on my fucking porch. This is the kind of stuff that taxi drivers won't pick up or go into these neighborhoods. That kind of shit. And I told the cops all this. Right, there's no one here. There's no reason to come here. They told me there was no reason for me to even call. That's what they told me. They told me there was no reason for me to call. They kept on asking me, what do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? It was his way to deflect. He wasn't trying to trick me or anything. It was his way to deflect. And what I said to him was, officer, it's your discretion. I'm calling you as a civilian. I'm scared. I've witnessed and testified to you all the reasons why I called you, officer. I said it again. It is your discretion, officer. I don't know what to tell you to do. Do you hear me? Other people amongst their ranks? He kept asking me that. I told him even, I have an associate. I don't know. I have an associate with no experience in actual policing. I told him, I don't have weaponry. Why are you asking me that? They were deflecting. They didn't want to. There's nothing here. When she told me that, there's no hits in this house. There's absolutely no one tell. There's nothing on this house. It's all my imagination, you guys. Anyways, I know I keep on trying to close, but this is all relative. As far as anything I witnessed from the 7th to the 9th, that's not going to happen again. There's way too many federal agents all over this account because of this addressed residence, all right, and the shit that has happened, all right? Those two dispatch police that came like that because they weren't expecting any of it just made it even better for all the federales that are on this account because of this residence. So let's thank those two. All right, General, let's thank them. And these people are in trouble because they just don't stop, all right? They just don't stop. As I've said, I think I'll close here. The DCPD, and my fucking guidance has been this. The DCPD are so scared of the general. The general, right? General, you're Chad, right? You're like CIA, you're all this shit, dude. You're a big guy, I know that. But there's other ones like you. And so to me, the guidance is the general, because the general's not alone. There's other colleagues that have even more general stars than he does. These cops are fucking scared, Poppy, all right? I know that. Be safe in here. I need to put this online. It's 20 minutes. God bless America.